Okay, good evening, everyone. We're going to reconvene to open session and call to order at 6 o'clock. And please be advised that a recording may be made at the direction of the board and that the recording may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. 4.2, report of actions taken in closed session. There were none. 4.3, attendance roll call. Student Representative Enriquez. President Reed here. Clerk Rios. Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Lopez Jones. Trustee Rothberg Allen. 4.4, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. .5 District Mission Statement. At Calistoga, we empower students to graduate with respect, empathy, integrity, and the skills needed for success in life and work. We provide a supportive, inclusive environment where students gain essential academic knowledge, critical thinking abilities, and real-world skills. Our goal is to ensure all students feel a sense of belonging, are prepared for future opportunities, and graduate with pride, resilience, and a passion for lifelong learning. Item 5, public comment on open session items. Okay. Item 6, recognition. Michael, 6.1.
Yeah, so this is certainly one of my favorite nights of the year, and you can see why. We've got great attendance here tonight. We get to recognize some of our exemplary staff, and we're going to get right to it. Monica Baldenegro, principal at the Junior Senior High School, is going to kick us off.
Test. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Baldenegro. I'm the principal here at Calistoga Junior Senior High School. The first person we will be recognizing today is Miss Patty Aarons. Unfortunately, she could not be here this evening, but I would like to share a few words about her. Miss Patty is a special education paraprofessional who is dedicated and committed to supporting all students. She collaborates with certificated staff on IEP planning, implementation, and evaluation, communicates with teachers to ensure appropriate modifications are provided for students. All of this in turn builds student confidence and academic success. Miss Patty genuinely cares about students and encourages all students to stay involved and active in our school community. She fills in when needed as a chaperone, driver, and has coached some of our sports teams. Miss Patty has additionally helped with athletic programs by keeping statistics at games, encouraging students to participate on the teams, cheering our students on from the sidelines. She has also created a weightlifting club to create a safe space and outlet for students to work out during lunch and flex time. Miss Patty provides personalized support for students, builds positive student relationships, and is a vital Wildcat team member. Congratulations to Miss Patty. Next, I'd like to call up Miss Musser, our certificated employee of the year, Miss Jessica Musser. I'll give you your certificate first. As I shared with Miss Musser, I wrote a lot in her letter. I had to make the margins really small and the font really small as well. I did take the abbreviated version, but Miss Musser is our certificated teacher of the year. If you do not know her, she teaches junior high English 7, film studies 2 levels, which is A through G approved, yearbook, and our high school leadership class. In regards to teaching and classroom practice, Ms. Musser is a compassionate, student-centered teacher who creates a welcoming, rigorous classroom. She sets high expectations while remaining approachable for academic support, feedback, and mentoring. She developed and implemented a successful film studies elective that promotes media literacy, critical thinking, writing analysis, and public expression for all learners. In regards to leadership and school culture, she is our ASB leadership teacher who plans many fun events that increase our school participation and strengthens our overall school community. She has led, as many of you know, our yearly homecoming parade and activities, and she works to get everyone involved. She also this year established a student senate to have monthly grade level meetings, representatives to represent the students who are not in our leadership class. This builds leadership, voice, and advocacy. She also brought and has expanded Poetry Out Loud to our site, growing our students' confidence, creativity, and performance skills. She has championed, along with the English department, our SSR program, where all English teachers are successfully doing SSR at the start of every English class, and has helped her colleagues build classroom libraries. She has built a classroom library of over 800 young adult books available for student checkout. I do sometimes sneak in there and look at the books myself. In regards to professional collaboration and initiatives, she is an active member of our PLC team, and she contributes her insight, vision, and follow-through. She has also launched our Safe Spaces Club, supporting our LGBTQ+ students with activities, discussions around identity, respect, and belonging. Ms. Musser has also, with CEF, put in proposals for Broadway trips to San Francisco and helped plan yearbook conventions. Just recently before break, prior to break, she had submitted a proposal for the Museum of Tolerance to come to our school, and they were here the week before break for the first time ever, giving our students a new learning experience focused on combating hate, anti-Semitism, bullying, and racism. Overall, hopefully you can tell she is a wonderful, amazing human and teacher, and we congratulate her as Teacher of the Year. Would you like to say anything? You want to.
I'll just say thank you, and I'm really glad that I ended up here in Calistoga. This is my 8th year. I love being here. I love the small community, and I'd like to advocate for 2 things to put in your ear. One would be a cell phone ban on high school campus, and the other would be a closed campus so that we can better build community on campus with clubs and activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Musser. I will pass over the mic to Ms. Kesa Enemark.
Good evening and welcome, everyone. We're excited tonight to honor Miss Christy Strackbine. Whoop, whoop. She's been selected as the Employee of the Year for Paraprofessional Services. Her patience is legendary. She's calm. She's down to earth. She's steady and even in the most stressful times. I've seen this myself. She's the one that we reach out to when we want to tap out, when we can't handle behavior anymore. We call Christy and she just magically makes it happen. She's a true team player. She steps up when she sees a need. Once she successfully managed to get a bunch of second grade classes divided between 3 rooms for a PE class. I think there were a sub that day. When there was a first grader, he was barricading himself in a bush. Christy was there and I called on her myself, and we've added to her job description that she is has the ability to almost magically coax students out of vegetation. So that really happened. She's reliable, honest, versatile, and you have a great attitude. You're really reliable, safe space on campus. So we love you, Christy. We're happy to work with you. And congratulations from Calistoga Elementary School. Would you like to say a few words?
All I would like to do is say thank you very much, and I love my CES family.
Next, I would like to invite Veronica Montañez Cortez. Veronica has been selected as the Employee of the Year for Clerical and Administrative Services, AKA making the admin look good when they're trying to wing it sometimes. So I have several categories about you, Veronica, here, thanks to AI, who condensed a letter for you. Dedication and efficiency. So she's been serving for 10 years and is recognized as an organizational backbone and positive cultural heart of the office, demonstrating extraordinary dedication, unparalleled efficiency, and a profound impact on the smooth operation of the school. You have a proactive initiative. She's consistently operating at a level exceeding standard requirements and distinguishes herself by taking initiative, thinking of things before I could think of them, anticipating challenges, developing solutions, and creating systems such as those for student awards and streamlining the child registration process to save parents time. You're the welcoming first contact of our school. As a secretary, you're often the first point of contact for people that are new to our school or kids that see her every day to turn in their cell phones. And every time they're met with warmth, respect, and a genuine sense of care to create a welcoming and safe environment. She's a team player and a mentor. You're invaluable and trusted colleague, and you contribute teamwork. You offer mentorship to new staff, substitutes, really a reassuring face in the office for new families. You handle every challenge with grace and humor and an impressive can-do attitude. You're truly a crucial support for our families, especially during the year, by responding to parents contacting her about unique needs with kindness, compassion, and urgency. I mean, people all around town have her cell phone and text her things. So we appreciate that about you. And we love Veronica. She's so easy to be around and work with such a hard worker. Congratulations to Veronica. Thank you.
No, just thank you so much. It means a lot and I appreciate all of you. I love working with you and I love my Wildcat family. Thank you.
Daisy Bogart, and she has fans with her tonight. I love it. Come on down. Our third grade teacher, Miss Bogart. Also, I have condensed this note because like you said, Miss Baldenegro, these are quite long letters. Classroom environment. Miss Bogart fosters a dynamic, positive, and enriching classroom environment, specifically designed to celebrate student individuality and achievements, adorned with continually rotating student work and cute holiday curtains. I often comment on those. Instructionally, she's quite versatile. She seamlessly integrates instructional technology with a dedication to fundamental skills such as ensuring students follow the rigorous process for writing well-developed paragraphs. She has a student-centered approach. Her classroom delivery is exceptionally organized, super organized, focusing on her students' unique needs and learning styles to ensure all children feel supported and appropriately challenged, even with 24 kids. Yeah. She is a person who can creatively integrate things. She leverages her background as a quilter and visual artist, infusing creativity into academic projects, transforming abstract concepts like using spiders to represent mathematical arrays into tangible, memorable learning experiences. And lastly, for community engagement, she actively engages the parent community by organizing several festive and academic events throughout the year, including Starbooks, a Harry Potter party, and the Imagineer project, where students create and animate videos of their own amusement park rides, inviting parents to volunteer or attend. It is an honor to watch you, Daisy Bogart, teach, and it's an honor to work with her at our school. Congratulations. Like to say a few words?
I just want to say thank you. I've loved working here for all these years, and I absolutely love my CES family. I love the students and the families I work with, and I'm just really thankful to be here. So thank you.
Okay, good evening. I usually don't get to do this, but this year I get to introduce someone, I get to honor someone, and I'd like to invite Alex Andari up to join me. And I heard Alex's mom might be on YouTube. Hi, Mom. Your daughter's amazing. I'm going to say all sorts of nice things about her. So I am so excited to speak about Alex on her behalf of her award as the Classified Employee of the Year for Technical Services for both Calistoga schools, and she was also selected as the County Employee of the Year. And we put together a big old packet for the county, actually for the state, because she's now nominated to the state of California for the Employee of the Year at the state level. So we've got a long bunch of essays and a video. We did all those things. I didn't use AI tonight to condense it. I got my own thing tonight for you. So here's what I have to say. Alex is a big deal in our district. She helps out so many people throughout the district in so many ways, right? She is critical to the success of the individuals in this district on the work that they do, but she's also critical to the success of our school sites and the district as a whole. When we hired Alex, we really hired her for like one thing mainly, and that was CalPads. And if you don't know what CalPads is, it's a system where we report all sorts of data to the state. And at the time, CalPads was really expanding by a lot in terms of the types of data, the amount of data it was collecting, the importance in terms of accountability for our school district. And we knew we needed somebody. And so we created a position and we hired Alex. And she has created a model district's CalPads reporting system. She's taught us what clean data means. It means good data has to go in for good data to go out. So she's helped us improve our ability to do that. She's educated us. Before Alex, I don't really think we knew a lot about CalPads. We had a third party who just kind of did all the reporting for us, but we didn't really know about it. She's taught all of us about CalPads, how it works, why it's important, what each of our roles is. She created an administrator review process where now the administrators look at every single piece of data before it goes to the state. So we can catch we're small enough to look at each data, each student. If we can catch any errors before it goes to the state, even one error, that's a big deal. She created that system. She's reported to CalPads on time with no errors year after year. That's a really big deal. And she's done it, with self-motivated on her own to make that happen. But CalPads is a little part of what she does now, right? She does so many things, and I could list them all and we could be here for a really long time. But I'll just list my favorites. She essentially manages our entire state testing program, right? CASP and LPAC, proctor training, test scheduling, tracking completions, parent communication, pulling the data out, putting it into our different reporting systems, all the things with state testing. That's a big job. She led the MAP testing platform implementation. That was a big endeavor. We said we want to use a new testing system called MAP. She really spearheaded it, right? She supported teachers in learning how to use it. She supported students when she was in the classroom, teaching students how to log in. She brought the common agenda concept to Calistoga. When Alex showed up, we had all sorts of agendas. Each meeting, the agenda might look different. She said, can't we just have one agenda? And then she helped design it. Now every meeting you go to, same agenda. It's efficient. We all know what to expect, how to do it. She provides our teachers with curated data sheets. Our teachers at the start of the year, they get data on all their students. They know who their students are on the first day of school, all the data about their students. And then as data comes in throughout the year, she updates those sheets so a teacher can always know how their students are doing and how they're making progress. She is our Aries guru. Aries is our student information system. It's where all the student data goes. It's a big, complicated system that changes every year. She's our go-to. She is a Google Spreadsheets phenom. If you've seen Alex work with Google Spreadsheets, the way she puts a spreadsheet together, the way she visualizes data, the way she sorts data, she can tell a story with data, right? And she's, to some degree, as much as we're capable, taught all of us how to do some of those things. To sum up Alex's approach, I wrote here, she's a tenacious systems improver. And what I mean by that is when Alex sees a system that is not working optimally, I don't think she can help herself, actually. She's tenacious about her approach, right? She knows it can be better. She knows she can help make it better, and it's going to happen, right? But as a result of that approach, year over year, that means she's touched a lot of systems. So over time, she's helped this district and all of us just be so much better. And now it's to the point where people just call her and they say, hey, I've got a system that's not working. Can you help fix it? Or I'm thinking of putting a system together. Can you help me fix it from the beginning so I don't have to call you in like a year and say it's not doing what I want? She's an educator about data, about computer applications. She helps us all get better. She meets on a scheduled basis with our site secretaries, with our administrative assistants to teach them about data and about systems and computer applications. She meets with others less formally. but she helps us all get better in navigating this very technological world in which she lives. And that's a lot of technical stuff because she's a technical wizard. But I'd say more importantly, more important than the technical skills, she really cares, right? She cares for Calistoga schools. She is a true wildcat. She cares for our kids. You'll see her in a classroom. You'll see her in front of CES getting students amped up to take the map. She cares for our staff. She cares for their success to make sure that they're, empowered to do what they want to do. She cares for the district. If we're not doing things at our best ability, she's going to hold us accountable. She holds herself to a very high standard, and I think she helps us all hold ourselves to that same standard. Calistoga schools would be a really different place without Alex. I think we would all agree. And I'll just say lastly, personally, working with Alex, supervising Alex has been such a joy. And I'm just so happy for her. She is so very deserving of this recognition as Employee of the Year.
Well, thank you, everyone. That was a lot of kind words. I do a lot of data, but I think what I want to say is thank you to the staff and the families and the admin here in Calistoga, because I came in hot and ready to do data and ready to make Calistoga a positive data culture. And I wouldn't have been able to be here 6 years later if everyone wasn't willing to be open-minded and work together and just hang on for the ride. So I'm really grateful because, I mean, like Michael said, I did a lot of this work up front, but sometimes in the past year, I sit back and I'm like, do they even need me to go through this Google sheet and show them what their data says? Because there's so much independence and so much ownership on behalf of the staff, from the secretaries to the teachers to the district office support staff. There's been so much growth, and I'm so grateful to work with people who are always willing to learn and learn alongside me. So I'm very grateful to be a Wildcat, and I hope to be here for a lot longer.
Well, that was really exciting. Thanks to all who presented for all the stories that you shared, and congratulations once again to all the winners. Great work. Thanks for making Calistoga a better place.
So before we go to the next session, we do two things. One is we ask all the awardees and award winners to come up so we can take a group photo. And our parent liaison is going to take our photo. So if everybody could come up, that would be great, along with the people that nominated them. And we can give them one big round of applause again. And then we will pause for 30 seconds. As we know, many of you came only for this. We are not offended. You are more than welcome to get up and leave before we go to the rest of our monthly school board meeting.
Right. Okay, so item 7, public hearing, and 7.1, public hearing protocol. As an elected governing body of the Calistoga Joint Unified School District, the Board of Trustees conducts public hearings for the purpose of maintaining open communication with parents, students, and residents of the Calistoga community and school district. Through the public hearing process, trustees seek ideas and viewpoints regarding the efficiency and quality of district-sponsored programs or any other area of the operation of the district and its schools. The trustees believe that open communication is a key element in the ongoing process of district, school, and program improvement. So 7.2, developer fees.
Good evening, everyone.
Tonight, we have Rob Murray from King Consulting, who actually did our developer fee justification study. So he's going to be with us via Zoom and give the board some key points of that justification study as we move through the public hearing tonight.
Great.
Hi, Rob.
Yep. Hi, good evening. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. So I'll just kind of provide a little bit of very high level context and quick overview. And then, of course, I'm happy to answer any more detailed questions that anyone has. But this is really your routine maintenance of your developer fees. Every other year and even numbered years, the State Allocation Board reviews construction cost escalation, various things, and raises the ceiling on what the statutory amount or the so-called level 1 developer fees are. And so this study just demonstrates that with the actual cost that you have from students who will be generated from any level of future development, that you are, in short, fully justified to collect that statutory fee of $5.38 per square foot residential and 87 cents per square foot commercial industrial, keeping in mind that these fees only apply to new development moving forward. This does not affect anyone who is already living here unless they are building a new home or expanding their existing home by more than 500 square feet. And so I think that is a good, very high level overview, but again, very happy to answer any and all specific questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Are there any questions? Should we begin at this point, begin the public hearing? So we'll open the public hearing, excuse me, at 6:26. Thank you, Claire. So any comments or questions from the staff or the board? Anything?
And no public comments.
Public comments? Okay. Well, then thank you very much, Rob. I think we're ready to now close the public hearing.
All right. My pleasure.
Thanks, Rob.
Of course. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So 7.3 then, waiver request surplus real property.
So this is a public hearing to talk about us applying for a waiver. Later on, we'll have an action item related to the waiver to apply to the state so that we can move through the process of possibly selling the Galvez property. And so what this does is, as we know, you have already surplused the piece of property. And so what this does is it allows us an opportunity to sell it without using the highest bidder. It allows us to actually use what's called a request for proposals process. And what this does is it allows us to actually find a partner should we decide to sell the property. And this is a significant benefit because as we look to selling the property, we have some wants that we want out of it. And without the waiver, we would have to sell it as a highest bidder and anybody could buy it and there would be no stipulations that we could put on it. So applying for the waiver allows us to pick a partner that is acceptable to the board, the community, is consistent with our district's workforce housing purposes, which is what we want to hopefully end up on the property, rather than being locked into selling to whomever wants to give us the highest bid. It still requires community input. And so we are seeking to receive a waiver from the state board. It does not bind the district to selling the site. It simply allows us more freedom as we move forward, should we get to the point where we are ready to sell it. It was presented to our district budget advisory committee and they said, yes, we should apply for the waiver. They are in support of it. It was also presented to both collective bargaining units, CAT as well as CSEA, and both units collectively said that yes, they are in support of us applying for the waiver. So that shows that we collectively as a team see the benefit in moving down this path. So if I have any questions?
Open the public hearing first, Sean. Should we open the public hearing? At 6:28, thank you, Clerk Rios. Thank you. And yes, Stephanie.
Technically, yes, the state can deny the request. It is my understanding that they have denied 0 requests since like the early 80s. So the chances of it being denied are slim, but there's always a chance that it could be denied.
Any other questions from board or staff? Comments?
No public comment.
Public comment? Okay, well then we can close. We'll close the public hearing at 6:20. Laurel. Okay, thank you. So that brings us to item 8, reports. 8.1, Calistoga Junior High Student Representative.
So I have a written report that I will read on behalf of the junior high ASB. Good evening, everyone. The junior high leadership class are excited to share some upcoming projects we have and what we are currently working on. One of the events that continues to take place is Student of the Week. This is when 2 students, one from 7th and one from 8th grade, get picked randomly from the Possum Box. Students can receive a Possum ticket by being encouraging, helpful, kind, and many other positive characteristics towards other classmates. One of our past events was the first junior high track and field meet on the new field after the opening ceremony on April 2nd. It was very successful, and we did some fundraising by selling agua frescas at the meet. Next week, both the junior high and high school have CASP testing. We are encouraging our students and classmates to get enough sleep every night, eat breakfast, and take their time during the testing period. And the 8th grade field trip is also around the corner. Junior high leadership wants to reward the promoting 8th graders by taking them to the epicenter to play laser tag, go jumping, and eat tons of good food there. Thank you for your continued support.
Thank you for sharing that report. 8.2, Calistoga High School Student Representative.
There's not a report tonight.
8.3, Calistoga Associated Teachers.
Hello, good evening. We have the majority of the CAT bargaining team here, and we wanted to give a little update report on contract negotiations. So bargaining team member Joey May is going to come up to do that for the board and the public.
Oh my. Hello. I wrote something, so I'm going to unfold that right now, and I'm extremely nervous. I'm going to do great. My mom is not watching on YouTube. All right, good evening.
She could be, though.
I don't know. I'll ask her. Good evening. My name is Joey May. I'm reporting tonight to give a summary on negotiations to the board and the public on behalf of the CAT bargaining team. It's my first year helping the bargaining team and first time speaking at a board meeting. I think that's been obvious at this point. Before I begin that summary, though, just a little me, who I am. If you're just meeting me, I've worked in the district for 10 years as a certificated special education teacher at the elementary school. I have 2 California Education Specialist Instruction credentials. I have a master's degree in special education from Sonoma State. My wife is a speech therapist in schools. I'm the father of 2 girls. I'm an uncle to my nephew in Indiana who has Down syndrome and autism. So in my world, in and out of work is all about educational equity for all. And so as a teacher and a person, I am a strong believer in the good outcomes of collaboration, accountability, and the use of best practices for everyone at schools. Okay, so, all right, the bargaining update. This year, there's 3 contract items that are open. The retirement, health benefits, and salary are being negotiated. In addition to these is an MOU or an memorandum of understanding for the DLI or dual language immersion program starting next year in grades K and 1. After multiple day-long negotiations, meetings, there's been progress in every item that was opened. We've already reached some agreements, so I am doing a really good job. Kidding aside, these have been productive meetings, and both stakeholders are doing their best to reach an optimal outcome for this district. So the first item that I'm going to cover is the DLI program at MOU. The MOU aims to keep class sizes balanced. It gives needed flexibility to admin when sorting students based on next year's enrollment. Additionally, the MOU compensates the program's teachers with additional stipends and time for instructional planning via extra release days. So it's been a great agreement. Before I begin on salary and health benefits, though, again, back to me, I'm someone who lives in Santa Rosa but works in this district. And so I am very thankful that our district is very healthy reserve, and which is well above legal requirements in a budget whose tax revenues went up. So this is unlike my daughter's district, where there is falling revenues for budgets. The reserves are all but depleted. And so I am really thankful as an employee, and I'm happy for the families whose children get to attend school here in this district, because it is so fiscally healthy, and it brings a wonderful sense of security of its kids and families. So, but as far as those items go with salary and health benefits, there was an agreement made in salary to change extra duty hourly rate. And so this will match the minimum rate of pay for a certificate teacher on the salary schedule. This will hopefully attract CAT members back to those duties so that our students' extracurricular activities are staffed with familiar faces who are experts in their field. Health benefits, which include dental and vision, are a growing cost to everyone, but especially families. CAT is seeking a $400 increase to the cap on the district's contribution towards healthcare to help ensure that teachers can afford to take their kids to the doctor. Without any increase, some of us would have to spend nearly $30,000 per year out of pocket for family health insurance. And on salary, last year CAT agreed to a compensation increase of 2.48% for this year. This was the sum of the district contribution towards that healthcare cap and salaries. This year, the district's revenues from community taxes increased 7.5%. CAT has proposed a 5.5% increase to salaries to close a gap that's been created over the past few years because since COVID, our salary increases in Calistoga have not kept up with the state's cost of living adjustments, or COLA. And for retirement contract language, the district has proposed language that would allow retirees to continue receiving contributions to health coverage for themselves until they reach Medicare age. CAT is proposing that the contract include an additional retirement incentive, which is called the CalSTRS incentive outlined in Ed Code. This incentive provides 2 years of service credit to start in the STRS program, which would incentivize some current CAT members to retire. Best of all, the law requires that this incentive can only be provided if the district can show that it would provide a net savings a few years down the road. So not only would this language be guaranteed to save the district money, but it could potentially open up space for hiring more teachers for a new dual language immersion program. That is our bargaining update as of right now. Thank you to the listening community members for your time, and board and everyone. So again, my name is Joseph May, and reach out if you have any questions or comments. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that report. Okay, 8.4, California Classified School Employees Association.
No report.
8.5, CES Principal.
Testing, there it goes. I have an image that I'm using this month for sort of the newsletter and board report. And if you can imagine a tree, and the tree is the attendance. We're saying that if you can come to school, get there on time, participate, engage, and this would lead that this daily presence would be an opportunity for the students to do fun things, because we have some fun things coming up right now. We're all about Jogathon on Friday. So that's a big deal in our school. And it's a fundraiser, but it's a fun raiser, and it's good for physical fitness and school spirit. I mean, the families get involved, the kids are excited. We have matching t-shirts that are being printed now. We are picking them up Wednesday. It was a big deal. The cafeteria was wild when they were voting on the design. A 6th grade student won the design. So you'll see those all around town. And this year we actually we had a 2nd place winner for the artists. We picked a student in the grades K through 3. So we had a young person in a 1st grade class who also drew a teeny tiny wildcat, and it's on the back of the shirt, a little bit smaller. So we're very excited for this new start. That will be on the back with the donors, some people that sponsored our Jogathon. And we have been working on swimming lessons. So we had kids, we want to encourage their attendance, and they're really into coming to school when it's the Jogathon and when it's swimming lesson week. So this week, I think we're on 4th grade, starts tomorrow, rain or shine. And that, it's an important life skill. It's something that we spend a lot of time on the schedule and collaborating with our community partners. So we're proud about that. I think that it's a huge safety feature for a young person growing up near rivers and lakes and swimming pools. I think it boosts their confidence, and it's just all around good life skill for their leisure going forward, and maybe even, for fitness. We also want students to come to school because we have state testing coming up. So we're trying to kind of connect this for students, that we got, some things that are fun and some things that are required and are quite serious. And we want to have the students show what they know with their academic progress and show that they're getting ready for their future, because there will be other tests that they will take as they grow up and go to college.
And it's really part of our accountability. We want as many students to take the tests as possible. And we're excited to show what they've learned. So I think that really encapsulates this. We have this tree with some fun fruit on the tree, like the jogathon and the swimming lessons. And we also have some important branches of the tree, the learning, the math and the reading and science. So we're excited for that. We're going to get kids excited about that. They don't know yet. We're doing the background right now. So yeah, it's exciting times. We talked today in our staffing about, the possibilities of different movement within our school of where classes might be located. And so we're still growing this year. We're not stopping yet. So 39 days left. Is that the number? 39 days. We have a lot to do in 39 days. So thank you for hearing my report. And if I can ever be of help to any of you, let me know.
Thank you. Thanks for the report. Yeah, right. Okay, 8.6, Calistoga Junior Senior High School Principal.
Good evening, late afternoon, everyone. In regards to LCAP goal number 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students, during the month of April, CJSHS will proctor the English language arts and math CASP assessments for grades 7, 8, and 11. Also, the science assessment will be given in grades 8 and 11. Given the feedback that administration received about last year's modified assessment schedule, this year we will have a modified schedule for the full week of 420. That means all days next week will be modified and students will report to their CAT advisory first thing in the morning for an hour and 45 minutes to complete their testing. Students who are not taking CASP assessments will be participating in our Wild Week 2.0, which includes different presenters for grades 9, 10, and 12. As we engage in academic planning for the 26-27 school year, teachers will be engaging in review of performance indicators to determine which students will need intervention or additional support for the next school year. Results from CASP, LPAC, MAP, all the assessments that Ms. Andery helps us with, along with teacher recommendations, will help us and teachers determine which students need additional support for next year. This comprehensive data will be part of our PLC review during the month of April. Additionally, during our PLC time, we continue to determine progress of students who teachers have selected to attend their CAT advisory for additional support. In regards to LCAP goal number 2, provide a safe, healthy, and positive school environment, CJSHS Wild Week 2.0 has several presenters and activities for student learning and engagement. We started Wild Week last year, which stands for Wildcats, Get Informed, Level Up, and Discover. And this time was block time. And so we wanted to provide extra workshops and creative opportunities for learning during these extended testing blocks. This year, we have invited some of our presenters back, but we also have some new presenters for students. We will have presentations on tobacco education, which will provide students with the health risks associated with tobacco consumption. We will bring back the financial awareness activities for grades 10, Money Matters with 10,000 Degrees, and grade 12, Bite of Reality, which is in collaboration with RCU, Redwood Credit Union. These activities are targeted for the older students and are a collaboration with local organizations and several volunteers. This year, we also have invited the SAFE Foundation, a nonprofit organization focused on raising awareness about personal safety, crime prevention, and human trafficking, while providing practical self-defense training to individuals of all ages. It will not be hands-on self-defense, but just demonstration. Our MIT Invention class will also provide workshops to our students focused on sexual abuse, assault prevention education, awareness, and reporting. We will also have a wellness fair and career fair for all grade levels. We look forward to receiving feedback from our students after these activities are concluded. I also want to just give a personal shout out to Miss Karina, our wellness specialist, who's helped reach out to many agencies to help organize this event. It has taken a lot of organization, and she and I have met quite regularly, and she's been an amazing support in organizing Wild Week 2.0. In regards to LCAP Goal 3, increased parent engagement and enhanced communication, CJSHS will hold a snack and chat with the principal on Thursday, April 16th at 5 p.m. in place of the monthly coffee with the principal. At the start of April, CJSHS held its annual open house as well as our ribbon cutting for our athletic stadium. And as the junior high students mentioned, our first track meet in over 15 plus years. During these events, our Sober Grad Parent Committee helped with food sales for our parents, students, and visiting families. We appreciate the support and ongoing collaboration with our parent committees. We have also finalized the name for our spring event, which is Open Mic, a creative collective, and we have invited our parent and student groups to sell food, and we are working on the lineup of performers. We hope that our students, families, and community will come to enjoy and support this event on Friday, May 15th. That concludes my report. Are there any questions? It's going to be here. So we have a few bands that we hope, one here, if you came to open house, we had a band here. We're talking about having different spots for bands or just having one location for the bands and then 30-minute rotations. We are hoping to have some poetry, spoken word in here. And if you have seen the short film that our students created on the protest that was in town, we've asked those students if they would like to do a showing of their screen and maybe an interview with the producers so that they could share the process. And so trying to create a space on campus for kids, students, and adults to showcase some of their hobbies and passions. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. All right, 8.7, Director of Facilities, Maintenance, and Operations.
Good evening, everybody. First on the list is Fields. I think this might drop off after this meeting because I think we're all squared away. We have a little bit of minor troubleshooting to do with the PA system, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to finally be completed, I guess. The ribbon cutting that took place a couple weeks ago was a success. It was interesting that that's the second ribbon cutting I've been to since I've been here. And the STEM building, I thought it was a pretty big deal, but I didn't really have anybody bring it up in conversation. But friends and people that I didn't think really cared or knew were just like really excited for us to have this stadium. And yeah, it was really cool to see everybody there and the stands full of people. And I'm excited to get sports out there. I wasn't able to stay for the track meet, but it sounded like it went pretty well. There's a little bit of a spin-off from the field. We're going to be adding a home run fence for the baseball field. That right now is in design and it's going to go to DSA. I don't have an ETA on when that's going to be done, but that'll kind of segue into a new project that I'm adding. We're looking to fence around the sites here at this site, and then a few additions at the elementary school around Berryfield. We do have an architect on board. We're just waiting for their approval. So hopefully we can get moving on that quick. I don't see that needing to be a summer project. If we don't have it approved and ready to go by the summer, I don't see it impacting students during the school year. So, and then as for generators, we kind of had some bad news over the month. We had our bid walk. We only had 2 vendors participate. You normally want more than just 2. But it turns out that the switchgear we have spec'd for that project, for both of them actually, is the lead time is about 9 to 12 months. So we're not going to be able to do that over the summer. However, what we are going to do is get all the work done and put the generators in place, get the fencing up, the slabs, the conduits, everything needed. So hopefully by Christmas break, we can make the connection from the old systems to the new. The summer school team was pretty happy about that though, because now they can have summer school at the elementary school with very little impact from that project. And then over here at the district office, I'm sure some of you might have noticed we removed some trees. Ultimately, the generator is going to go in that corner by the gym. It's also going to, we're also going to grade there and pave so we can add 6 parking spaces maybe, because it's definitely getting overfilled quite often. TK is moving along well. All the mitigation for fire was completed. The rooms are basically up to the level that they were at the time the fire took place. This week, they'll be putting in the casework in those classrooms. All the T-bar ceilings are done. The air ducts and the mechanical and electrical and plumbing and stuff that needed to be replaced is all complete. They'll be working on finishing up playgrounds, the ones in the back there, the kindergarten ones. And then by about the beginning of May, the sensory wall that's being put in between where the playground and the swings are, that should be in place beginning of May or so. And then that's all I got. Does anybody have any questions?
About the fencing, is that to fully enclose both
Yeah.
campuses?
So
So
the-
enclose Berry Field and enclose the front of this?
Yeah, exactly. The Berry Field's going to be a similar path to what the temporary fence is running. Over here, most of it's going to be a standard chain link fence, but up here we're going to match the same ornamental fencing that's at the STEM building. And then we got to close off wood shop area. There's some spots out in the field areas that will be closing off. It's part of
And
that.
then what about what will be replacing the temporary fence on Berry Field?
The same type of ornamental fence that's there now.
That's on Berry.
Yeah,
Okay.
and what I'm tasking the fencing company with is to figure out a solution without completely raising just the gates that are there now. Some kind of solution to keep people from being able to reach over like they can. Not a lot of people can reach, but they throw backpacks over and stuff like that. So we're going to try to come up with a solution for that.
Thank you, Chris. 8.8, Director of Business Services.
So I have a state budget update for you. This is right from Capital Advisories, the Capital Advisories group that we belong to. So I'm giving them credit for this update. But as of March, state revenue collection is dramatically above projections made in the 2025 Budget Act, and also well above the estimates the governor used in his January projections. This dynamic suggests positive news at the May revision, with some questions remaining about whether large revenue gains in the 25-26 fiscal year will carry into the 26-27 fiscal year, or budget year, I should say. Growing concern with stock market volatility related to the war and with gains dependent on a continued surge in AI technology is fueling a significant degree of uncertainty about our future revenue despite strong revenue growth in the last 6 months. So still a concern, even though we are up in our revenue statewide. May revision usually comes out around May 10th, and I think our next board meeting is on the 11th. So hopefully I can bring some updated information to you. I think one thing we're looking out for as a school district that gets community funded is the one-time revenue that may be in the 26-27 budget, because it could be a significant one-time increase for us. Dr. Pittman and I attended the School Services Squared meeting in Sacramento on March 24th. This group is a state financial advisory group specifically for community-funded school districts, of which our very own superintendent is a board member. It was nice to network with other community-funded districts with different issues, such as negotiations in community-funded districts. And this time we talked about county assessors' relationships with community-funded districts. We heard some great presentations. One presentation in which Dr. Pittman actually helped present on was about creating a more informed and communicative relationship with our county assessor's office. We currently receive property tax information only 3 times a year from Napa County. And that's in December, in April, and in August when we're closing the books. And wouldn't it be nice to know more information about where we are with our revenue in different times of the year, maybe every month or even weekly if we had something to log into and check it out. So that's what other counties are doing that are community funded districts. And so Kay Vang, the CBO at St. Helena, and I have brought that to the CBOs of Napa County and to Napa County Office of Ed to hopefully create more collaborative efforts on the assessor's part to give us more information, which for us would help in a positive growth for property taxes to our district, as well as negative growth. We would be able to be more consistent on what we see coming forward. So hopefully we can make that move along. We are starting our 25-26 audit the last week of April. We are currently in the process of uploading many documents to our auditors, Christy White, and we will be working with them April 27th through May 1st to get a lot of state and federal compliance done, as well as attendance. As always, I'm thankful to our district office team and our school site teams for being so diligent at putting these documents together for our auditors. I continue to have gratitude for where I work. I am sure we are all aware of the difficult things that are going on in other school districts around us and around the state. I've mentioned this before. There is a lot of fiscal distress out there with school districts, a lot of layoffs happening, and a lot of budget cuts happening currently. Our district is fiscally stable. My plan is for you to continue this way, even after June 30th of 2027. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. We have work to do in decreasing expenditures overall, but our budget committee has been formed and we will continue to do this work, as well as maintaining good reserve balances and making good fiscal decisions for our students and their future. That's all I have for you tonight.
Thank you, Maureen. Any questions? Okay, well, thank you. 8.9, Director of Educational Services and Human Resources.
Yeah, we'll start with an update around our summer program. We've identified our summer school dates. Pretty significant delay this year, as Chris shared. We were looking at a potential construction project this year related to the generator installation. And so Chris has been working with contractors, with PG&E, and we were trying to figure out, is that going to result in the summer school dates getting shifted to the end of summer? Is that going to result potentially to having the elementary students attend here at the junior senior high school? From the summer school perspective, I don't think either of those were great options. So I am happy that even though it's sad for the generator project, I'm happy for summer school. We are going to go with our traditional 1 week break after school gets out to get it all planned, get summer school set up, and then students will begin on July 23rd and summer school will end on June 22nd. We sent our first communication to families on Friday. We'll send another communication digitally this week. And then pretty frequently, we'll also send the paper enrollment packets home with elementary school students. So every student will get a paper packet either this week or next week at latest. We have extended the registration deadline from May 1st to May 10th due to the delay. That does give us a month. And then we've sent interest out to staff. We're on the staff side of things, we're already pretty much 90% staffed with our staff and our trusted returning teachers. So the staffing, I think we'll be there pretty quickly, and then we'll work on student enrollment. So we're up and running, but there was a delay this year. Also want to share some information with you on a process that we utilize in this district to review educational applications. We have a technologies operation team, and on an annual basis, we review our educational apps, our supplementary apps, not the ones that come with our core curriculum, but the extra apps. And I may have shared some of this with you in the past, but during COVID, we had probably 100 extra apps. Some were paid, some were free, but we wanted to make sure teachers had everything that they needed to teach in a very difficult environment with students being at home and teachers being at home. So post-COVID, we realized that a lot of those apps still had a lot of value, and we kept many of them. But we're pretty diligent at this point. We've got a very good process to each year really look at the usage data. And if an app is not getting utilized at the rate where we expect it to be, then we look to number one, can we work with the vendor to reduce the licenses to match those that are using it? And sometimes the vendor says yes, sometimes they say no. And then we also look at eliminating the app if it's not being used. So we're down from, say 100 to 40 discretionary apps. And we'll continue to go through this on an annual basis. But this is really important, I think, from a cost containment perspective. Number one, we don't want to pay for things that we're not using, right? So we need to make sure that we're very diligent about using our data and the data that we have to inform the decisions we make. There's also some recent research trying to link app usage to student outcomes, which is hard because there's a lot of variables that lead to student outcomes. But one of the things that's come out of that is, a recommendation to focus on using fewer apps with higher levels of fidelity than having a scattershot approach with many apps would lead you to better outcomes. So I think we're certainly on the right track, but I wanted to share that this process exists, and I think it's the right approach to take. Also want to share some information with you tonight on special education reporting or auditing, because I received a notification recently that we are going to be having a new special education audit that we've never had before. It's called the IEP Implementation Review, and it's typically assigned to districts that have a high risk or history of IEP noncompliance. The state is now rolling it out to pretty much all LEAs across the entire state. It will be a new annual requirement. And so what that looks like is we'll have 20 students that we'll receive a list of, and then we'll go through very carefully all the elements of the IEP and certify to the state that each element is compliant or not. Is there a benefit to us? There might be. It'll depend on our findings. Our IEP teams are very good. I doubt there are going to be a lot of findings that we'll identify. If there are, that would be a cause for some professional development for our teams, right? But then it got me thinking, right? There have been a lot of additional special education reporting and auditing requirements since about 2019, really since 2022. And I'm going to share them with you. These are all relatively new special education reporting requirements to the California Department of Education. We are used to getting an annual determination letter each year. This is where the state says, here's where you're deficient, and you need to put a correction plan in place or a correction action implementation monitoring SIM plan, though 99% of the districts in the state of California are identified as having a need. We then put in a pretty detailed plan. It involves a root cause analysis where we do an analysis of data to identify why this deficiency exists. We put an action plan in place, and then we use data to monitor that plan. That's an annual process. We also now have a student degree of monitoring reporting requirement where we report the degree of support that each of our students receive, extensive versus mild to moderate. We report the 1% threshold monitoring, which is we track the number of students who take an alternative assessment each year relative to the total number of students who take an assessment each year for the state, and we report whether it exceeds 1% that are taking the alternative assessment. We report on restraints and seclusion. How many students are restrained or secluded within a school year by us or a partner agency, like a non-public school setting. We each year now do a non-public school in-person site visit, and then we do a written report to the state on what we observed. We do service delivery verification reporting, which is we get a list of students and then we report on the percentage of service minutes that they actually received. So that involves if a student's absent, they didn't get their minutes, right? If there was some disruption, they didn't get their minutes. We track and report that. Then we also do we do a special education personnel data report. So we report the number of special ed teachers, paraprofessionals, and service providers. And so I just share all that with you, number one, so you know what happens in the district office, what our work is, what my work is. Maureen has her own auditing requirements. I do wonder if this is the right way to do business. You know, we don't control these things from the state, but for small LEAs like Calistoga, it's a lot of time and resources spent towards providing data to the state that we don't see come back to us. You know, in another scenario, we would be able to provide more services to students, more time, more energy from our staff closer to students. So I think that's worth recognizing and for us all to advocate for. I also want to share some changes to the changes and some potential changes to the California dashboard. This comes from the State Board of Education's school accountability meeting in March. A decision will be made in May whether to add a number of things to the California dashboard college career indicator category. The most significant is internships. Right now, internships are not reported as work-based learning experiences, and we do a lot of internships. I think that would be great for us, and it would be a better representation of the work that we're doing. There are also some changes happening to the teacher assignment monitoring process. That is now, teacher missed assignments are now reported on the California dashboard for the first time. They've been collecting that information for a long time, but now it's on the dashboard. It's much more public. And they're thinking about tinkering with it, not in a significant way, but I bring it up just to emphasize the importance of the local assignment option that we have. The board approved this year a number of teachers, especially our 5th and 6th grade teachers, into their assignments through local assignment approval. And I think that's a process we should continue. The state got rid of the grace period for 95% participation on state testing. What we've been able to do is if a student entered our district during or left our district during the state testing window, they weren't counted as part of our participation group. Towards 95% participation, the state has eliminated that, right? And so even if a student enters the last day of the testing cycle, if they don't test and complete their test, then they count against you. I think we'll probably be okay. We don't have a lot of transiency, but this will be really important that we continue to meet our 95% participation for each test and for each subgroup within each test. Because if you don't, it has a percentage or percentile penalty against your performance. And then lastly, this is I think really helpful. We know that I've explained how the dashboard color indicators work, and it's growth and change. So if you improve from year to year, that impacts how you might change from one color to the next, but you don't really know what the change was unless you go back to the previous year. You can see the color for this year, but you don't know if that was the result of a positive or negative change. So they're putting the actual change on the dashboard. I think that's beneficial to everyone in terms of transparency. And then lastly, tonight, we've had a grant through the Napa County Office of Education. It's actually their grant, the Lead to Literacy grant, which has funded 3 coaches to be on our campuses to support teachers with the implementation of structured literacy instruction at the primary grades and with our special education classes at the secondary level. That grant has been continued. It will now be an adolescence literacy focus in grades 6 through 12, all subjects. But that's very good news. That's going to fund really 3 coaches for our district. And then we'll also have NCOE funded math coaches. This is really important for us. We don't have our own instructional coaches, right? And that's one of the best ways to support teachers versus PD sending folks out, bringing speakers in, is to have coaches in the room and having meetings and building trust with our teachers. So to continue to have NCOE support is a big win for Calistoga. That's my report. I feel like that was a lot. Any questions for me tonight?
Thank you, Michael.
Yep.
8.10, Superintendent.
Good evening. I know several people have already mentioned it, but I have to bring up our ribbon cutting and track meet. Thank you to those that were able to take time off of work and to come and be present at the ribbon cutting. It was extremely well received. Thank you to the junior senior high school for scheduling it during the school day so that our kids could actually benefit from it as we transitioned into the track meet. We even had several of our CES students do a walking field trip and walk over and sit in the stands so they could see our beautiful new field. I was also told there were several reporters for here. So it was in the Press Democrat as well as the Napa Register, as well as the Tribune. I was told that there were individuals not from Calistoga that were on the field that were just blown away at how wonderful our field is, and communicating their jealousy that their home tracks are not as nice as ours is. So that was kind of exciting. And then to talk to the students, many of our students who are running track and or cross country have commented that their times are now improving because of the quality of the field. And they're cutting seconds and minutes off of their run times, which is pretty exciting that the field can help them improve their craft as they work through it. So I do want to share that was pretty exciting. In addition to that, I was invited to the CES staff meeting this afternoon, and a request came up. Their jogathon is this Friday, and they were like, we have this beautiful new field. Is there a chance that we could actually utilize the field for our jogathon instead of using the backfield or Berry Field? And so I reached out immediately to the junior senior high school principal, and I want to say thank you. She was like, let me check with the ADs, see if it's available. And the answer was yes. And so now it's just a matter of coordinating with CES to make sure that volunteers are available and we can shift it over. Thank you to the ADs for saying that, yes, it can be out there. So if you are available on Friday for the CES Jogathon, plan on being out here, hopefully. And it'll be a beautiful day and kids will actually run a legitimate lap. We did have some discussion on what that looks like for fundraising since it's not what they normally run. But it's a good problem to have. This past weekend, I was excited to be invited to the city of Calistoga, was unveiling their new Pike Parklet and the mural. And they asked for people to send in designs for the mural. And I'm excited to share that one of our students at the junior senior high school, Rosa Sanchez, won the design winning contest. She was also awarded $500 from the Rotary as a scholarship. And if you go by the Parklet, which is on the corner of Lincoln and Washington, you will see her beautiful artwork. And it just came out extremely nice. And she was there. So it was exciting to celebrate her and her artistry that will now be represented in the city. Tomorrow, Principal Baldenegro and I have a meeting set up with the city's Parks and Rec Department to discuss partnering with them around a summer youth athletic program for this summer. And so I want to thank Principal Baldenegro for coming up with the idea of a sports league in the summer. We're going to try to figure out how we can make this happen with a partnership with the city. PK is starting on Thursday evening, so we're excited to start this off again and to get our parents who will participate in the family engagement partnership with PK. It's always, over the past few years, we've continually to get more and more parents involved in this. So it's a really well-received parent engagement partnership. Michael was discussing the changes to the dashboard. I was asked by CDE to sit on the focus group with superintendents and other representatives from small school districts. And so I'm excited to share that I'll be on that focus group to talk about the benefits of the changes as well as unintended consequences and how we can help make it a better use for our school districts. The math department is going not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday to NCOE to look at math textbooks and hopefully narrow it down to 2 or 3 options for them to pilot in the fall. So we're excited about that. In partnership with Up Valley, we'll be hosting a community schools meeting with Napa County Office of Ed for us, Pope, and Howell Mountain, and it'll be held at the Brannon Center on April 23rd. And then that afternoon, we're going to be sending out a flyer on behalf of Napa County Office of Ed. At the beginning of the year, Superintendent Josh Schultz came out and shared with you that they were going through a strategic planning process. And so that afternoon on April 23rd, here in the multipurpose room from 3:30 to 5:30, they'll be doing a listening for our community. So we're all invited, as well as parents and other community members, on how Napa County Office of Ed can continue to support Calistoga schools. And then in addition to our own summer school, we are partnering with the Brannon Center. I brought this up previously with the Youth Cinema Project. And so that has gone out for our students to register. Incoming 6th through 8th grade, so current 5th, 6th, and 7th graders can apply to attend the Youth Cinema Project. I'll run from July 6th through July 30th at the Brannon Center. And then, as I stated before, they will be making their own films. They will learn from people in the industry. And then hopefully we can get their films shown at Cameo in St. Helena. And that's my report. And it's a free program. Yes, in partnership with the Brannon Center, is free to our students. And that's all I have.
Any questions? Great. Well, thank you for that report. Okay, item 9, consent agenda, which requires a roll call vote. The consent agenda protocol is that actions proposed for the consent agenda are deemed routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board, the audience, or staff requests specific items to be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. And the recommendation is to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor? Okay, so roll call, President Reed. Aye. Clerk Rios. Making me think here. Trustee Lopez Jones is absent. Trustee Gonzalez and Trustee Rothberg Allen, and the Student Representative Clavell is absent. Okay, so brings us to item 10, action items. 10.1, action item protocol. Protocol for action items includes a staff presentation, questions from the board, public input, deliberation by the board, and voting by the board. During public input, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person. 10.2 is Resolution 252608, Staff Appreciation Week.
So this, again, is honoring all of our staff. Traditionally, there are 2 separate weeks that are recognized in the state of California, but us as Calistoga, as special as we are, we choose to use 1 week to celebrate all of our staff. And so Resolution 252608 is in recognition of Staff Appreciation Week, whereas May 4th through May 8th is designated as Teacher Appreciation Week, and whereas May 17th through May 23rd is designated as Classified Employee Appreciation Week. The Board of Trustees of the Calistoga Joint Unified School District recognizes that it is the work, skill, and dedication of staff which makes the difference for children. It's only fitting that the Board of Trustees and all others who benefit from the efforts of staff recognize the vital work that they do. So therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby joins in recognizing Calistoga Joint Unified School District employees during the district Staff Appreciation Week, designated as May 4th through May 8th, and commends all employees for their outstanding efforts on behalf of our students. We ask to approve this resolution.
All in favor? Aye. 10.3, updated hourly salary schedule.
We are bringing this updated salary schedule to you tonight because we have increased our classified tutoring fees from $20 per hour to $25 per hour. This hourly rate has not been increased in some time, so we thought it was due for an increase. And it will be effective February 11th. So all of our CES tutors that are doing our after-school program right now can reap the benefit of that increased hourly rate.
All in favor? Aye. 10.4 Memorandum of Understanding with Calistoga Associated Teachers regarding Spanish, presumably dual language immersion.
Yeah, Joey covered this pretty well.
Yes.
This is a MOU with Calistoga Associated Teachers, and it does cover some of the terms that we've agreed to around the dual language immersion program, specifically class size, to ensure that the implementation of the program for next year doesn't impact the English only classes differential, as well as the differential between the DLI class and the English only class stays within a reasonable threshold. Also includes a DLI stipend for those teachers who are teaching in this setting, and details the plan for professional development, at least in terms of release days for additional planning for these two teachers. This is an agreement between both parties that we present to you for approval.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Okay, 10.5 Measure A Bond Audit Report and Letter for 2024-25.
You have received a copy of the Measure A bond report. This was part of your board packet. Measure A was approved by voters in 2010 for $42 million. We sold our final remaining balance of that $42 million last October. The audit was conducted for the 24-25 school year. Audits are a necessary occurrence when a bond has been passed by voters to make sure the district is adhering to the bond language that voters approved of. We have sold all bonds, like I said before, and we'll be probably done spending all of those issued bonds at the end of this year. So we have a little bit left that we're spending in 25-26. This report is the end of 24-25. Many projects were expensed out of Measure A, including the field project, the STEM building, TK building at CES, and the modernization at both campuses. Our auditors, Christy White, tested over $2 million in non-personnel expenditures, which made up 27% of Bond A funds spent in 24-25. They test for validity, allowability, and accuracy. They concluded that the sampled expenditures are in compliance with the terms of Measure A ballot language, as well as district-approved facilities planned and applicable state laws and regulations. They also reviewed a sample of contracts awarded during the 24-25 school year and determined that all appropriate bidding procedures were followed per public contract code. Based on this information, there were no audit findings for Measure A for the 24-25 fiscal year. And unless there are any questions, we recommend approval. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Great. Yeah. 10.6 Measure B Bond Audit Report and Letter for 2024-25.
Voters passed Measure B in 2022 for $41 million, and since June 30th of 2025, we have sold $28,500,000 in bonds. An additional $9 million will be on the agenda tonight. We have done STEM, riverbank upgrades, TK building, and many of the little smaller projects that we started a bit ago with these dollars. And auditors tested 5.1 million in expenditures, or 40% of the 24-25 Measure B expenditures. They test for all of the same things that I mentioned in Measure A. They also tested contract bidding, and they also tested change order procedures. All of this to say there were no findings in the 24-25 Measure B audit report.
All in favor? Aye. Great. 10.7 Resolution 252609, authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed $9 million aggregate principal amount of bonds of the district by a negotiated sale, approving a bond purchase agreement, a continuing disclosure certificate, and an official statement for the bonds, and authorizing related actions.
Okay, we continue to do great work in construction, therefore we need more money. So we are due to sell $9 million more in funding from the 41 million passed in 2022. And with this sale, we will have all sold but 3.5 million. So we're getting close to the end of this issuance as well. The agenda explains it in very great detail of all of the nuances of selling the bonds, so I won't go into that. We will be making this sale probably the first week of May.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, 10.8 Resolution 252610, authorizing the sale and issuance of not to exceed $3,300,000 aggregate principal amount of general obligation refunding bonds in one or more series, approving one or more escrow agreements, bond purchase agreements, continuing disclosure certificates, and official statements, and authorizing related actions.
So this is a reissuance of bonds we have sold in the past, and it's a reissuance of a little over $2 million, $2.9 million in bonds that were sold previously. This will save taxpayers approximately $263,000, and we are doing this because it lowers the interest rate. So we're going from a 5.28% interest rate to a 2.88%, and that's what creates that savings. It's done at the same time, so it doesn't cost us any more money.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Believe that brings us to 10.9. Sorry, there's a lot on here. 10.9 purchase agreement for sale of tiny house 2026.
Is with great pleasure that I announce that we have sold our tiny house. Yay! The board did approve the authorization for the sale last month or the month before. At a previous board meeting, the bids were presented on March 31st at 3 p.m. We had a whopping one bid. The bid was for $50,005. The successful bidder was Robert Picchini, otherwise known as Bud. And this sale is as is and will provide the district with a big giant profit of $1,248. I just want to thank Chris because he went through a lot of the hard details of having to go to DMV a couple times to make all of this happen. So thank you, Chris. So what you have before you is the purchase and sale agreement of our tiny home.
All in favor? Aye. 10.10, yes, resolution 252611, authorizing an increase in developer fees.
This resolution is to put in place an increase in our developer fees charged per square foot. Residential fees will go from $5.17 per square foot to $5.37 per square foot. Commercial fees will go from 84 cents per square foot to 87 cents per square foot. This is all as a result of our justification study allowing us to increase these fees. The pricing does not go into effect for another 60 days if the resolution is passed tonight.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. 10.11, resolution 252612, approving State Board of Education waiver surplus real property.
So this waiver is exactly what it states, for us to apply to the state for a waiver in order for us to use an RFP process to sell the Gallus property should we get to the point that we're ready to sell it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, 10.12, resolution 252613, approving the use of Calistoga Promise funds to support graduating seniors.
So a few years back, there was a committee put together that started the Calistoga Promise. Some funds were raised and kept in the ASB counts at the high school. A couple of years after I got here, we moved those funds from the high school to the district office because that's how we were paying out all of our scholarships at that time and still are. And so it just made more sense for those funds to be with the district. That was done by resolution through the board at that time. And those funds are currently sitting in their own resource since we've transferred them over. Over the past decade, multiple attempts to allocate Promise funds have encountered some roadblocks. As a result, we've not been able to award any of the scholarships from those Promise funds as of yet. Most recently, we explored providing seed funding for college savings accounts. However, this approach was ultimately not permissible due to a gift of public funds. This year, however, a new and urgent need has emerged. Several of our students have chosen to complete the California Dream Act application instead of the FAFSA. If students fill out the CATA application instead of the FAFSA, it means that these students must forego access to certain federal financial aid, including grants they would otherwise have received by going through the FAFSA. Given this context, we are proposing that we use Promise funds to provide financial support to these students who experience funding gaps as a result of submitting the CATA instead of the FAFSA. This would allow us to disperse these funds in a way that directly benefits students facing a clear and immediate barrier to accessing their higher education. The resolution is before you tonight for approval of this process. The people on the committee have already been informed that we were doing this, and we did get their approval to come to you as a board. And because these funds are part of our general fund, we just want to make sure the board is in support of how we use them. We have a total of $18,941.86 in the promised resource, and we look forward to your approval of this resolution.
All in favor? Aye. Cool. Okay, closing items, 11.1, board member reports.
Just because I don't think anyone has brought it up yet, we did a ribbon cutting on our new field and it was really well attended. Our kids were very excited. Neither of my kids are old enough to participate yet, but they were as excited as if they were get to use it every day. And then going to the open house that was held in the gym was really great because I saw that there were a lot of the high school and junior high kids that were there and engaging with the teachers and talking to community members and parents and families about the different programs. So it was really great to see and listen to the live music out in the band and walk through Sorrentino's room. And it was just a great evening to showcase what our school is about. And I feel like I've always said from the beginning is that all of these, structural improvements that we've made to the school is just kind of making our outsides match our insides, because what we do here isn't necessarily dependent on what the buildings look like, but having a facility that our students can take pride in is never a bad thing. So I just feel very proud to be a part of this community, both as an alumni and a parent and a board member. And I think we're doing really great work. And there's always room for improvement, but I feel like it gets lost in the jumble a lot that what you all do here every day is changing lives and is very important. So I don't want that to get lost in the mix. And I was really reminded of that at the open house and all of the other events. So thank you.
I have a couple short things. One was inspired by your report, Michael, regarding reporting to the state. CSBA, the California School Boards Association, had Legislative Action Week last month, and I participated on the call with our Senator Chris Cabaldon. And one of the issues that we were talking about is the burden of reporting. And they're not so much at this point asking for the data to come back. What did you think of our reports? Which I agree with you would be very nice and helpful. But they're asking for these reports to be sunset so that it's not just an indefinite report, but there might be, a term of 2 to 4 years or something after which the legislature would have to decide we want to keep this report going and here's why, rather than just have it go on indefinitely. So small steps. But the other thing is over this last spring break, my daughter and I went to visit college campuses, and we were very graciously hosted by a Calistoga alumna at UCLA who gave us a wonderful tour. She's thriving there and doing really well. And she's on track to finish with her degree in 3 years. So really exciting. And it was really neat to see her so successful. So that's all I have. So anyone else? Yeah, okay, so 11.2 board meeting calendar. Our next meeting is Monday, May 11th, followed by 2 meetings in June on June 8th and June 22nd. 11.3 tentative future agenda items include LCAP survey results and next steps. 11.4 reconvene to closed session if necessary. It's not. 11.5 report of action, if any, taken in closed session, NA. 11.6 adjourn meeting. All in favor? Aye. Hey, thanks everyone. Congratulations.